Everyone, I'm back with video another chapter, which is chapter number 9. That is income of other persons included in SSC's total income. Okay, in this video I'll be covering all the illustration exercise questions, as very few questions are there in this chapter. So in this video I'll be covering all of the questions, and the PDF link you will get in the description. Okay, do watch the video till the end. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and also share with your friends. Okay, and for more updated videos click on the bell icon. So let's start with illustration number 1. Okay, Mr. A holds shares carrying 25% voting power in X Limited. Mrs. E is working as a computer software programmer in X Limited at a salary of rupees 30,000 per month. Okay, in a company in which Mr. A is holding 25% voting power. In that company only, his wife is working as a computer software programmer for on the salary of rupees 30,000 per month. Okay, she is however not qualified for the job. That is, she is not fit for this job. That is, she is not having that qualification for this job, but still she is working in that company as a computer software programmer. Okay, the other income of Mr. A and Mrs. A are 7 lakhs and 4 lakhs respectively. Compute the gross total income of Mr. A and Mrs. A for the assessment year 2021. Okay, so as you all know, when in a company a spouse has a substantial substantial interest in a concern, and in that concern itself the spouse individual who is holding a substantial interest, if his spouse is getting some remuneration other than qualifications of that remuneration. Okay, if she is having a professional or technical qualification, if she is receiving remuneration for that purpose, then the income will not be clubbed in the hands of the individual who is holding substantial voting powers. And if she is not, he or she is not holding any qualification, professional or technical qualification, then the income of the person who is receiving salary, okay, shall be clubbed in the income of the spouse who is holding substantial interest. So in this case, income which is received, salary which is received by Mrs. A, that is 30,000 into 12 months, that is 3,60,000. That will be clubbed in the hands of Mr. A after getting a standard deduction of 50,000. As you all know that in salary there is a standard deduction of 50,000 under section 16(1)(a). Okay, so that is after deducting standard deduction, the amount of 3,10,000 will be included in the income of Mr. A. Okay, so Mr. A income will be increased accordingly. Okay, and compute the income. We have to compute the income in the both the hands. So let's see the solution. Mr. A holds shares carrying 25% voting powers in X Limited, that is substantial interest in a company. His wife is working in the same company without any professional qualification for the same. Okay, as she is not holding any professional qualification, so thus by virtue of the clubbing provision of the act, the salary received by Mrs. A from X Limited will be clubbed in the hands of Mr. A. Okay, so as I said, so it will be clubbed. So computation of gross total income of Mr. A will be salary received by Mrs. A, that is 30,000 into 12, 3,60,000. Standard deduction under section 16(1)(a) is 50,000. So after deducting the standard deduction, the amount is 3,10,000, and other income of Mr. A was 7 lakh, so it is coming to 10,10,000, the gross total income of Mr. A. And in the hands of Mrs. A, the 4 lakh, the other income which was received by Mrs. A. So in that case, so the gross total income of Mrs. A is 4 lakh. So 3,10,000 will be clubbed in the hands of Mr. A. Okay, hope you have understood. Now question number 2, illustration 2. Will your answer be different if Mrs. A was qualified for the job? If Mrs. A was qualified for the job, then no clubbing provision would be applicable, and 3,10,000 will be included in the income of Mrs. A only, and Mr. A will be chargeable to his Mr. A gross total income will be 7 lakh. Okay, and Mrs. A gross total income will increase from 4 lakh to 7,10,000. So 4 lakh plus 3,10,000. So Mrs. A income will be 7,10,000. Let's see the solution. Okay, so if Mrs. A possesses professional qualification for the job, then the clubbing provision shall not be applicable. Gross total income of Mrs. A is equal to Mr. A is equal to 7 lakh other income, and gross total income of Mrs. A is equal to salary received by Mrs. A, that is sorry, 30,000 into 12 less 50,000 being the standard deduction under section 16(1)(a) plus other income of 4 lakh, so it's coming to 7 lakh 10,000. Okay, it's clear. Now moving to illustration number 3. Mr. B holds shares carrying 30% voting power in Y Limited. Okay, Mrs. B is working as an accountant in Y Limited, getting income from salary computed. That is, computed means they have already computed after getting a deduction, standard deduction and all. So you can say it as a net salary, you can say, after deduction, every deduction allowable for the purpose of salary. So 3,44,000 is a salary without any qualification in the accountancy. So she is also similar to that sum in the previous sum, or no, she is not having any professional qualification or technical qualification. So Mr. A also received 30,000 as interest on securities. Okay, Mr. A is also receiving an interest on securities. Mrs. B owns a house property which she has let out. Okay, rent received from the tenant is 6,000 per month. Okay, 6,000 per month, that is coming to 6,000 into 12 is coming to 72,000. Okay, now we have to compute the gross total income of Mr. B and Mrs. B for the assessment in 2021. So in this case, 3,44,000 will be included in the total income of Mr. B, because she is not having, Mrs. B is receiving in salary from a concern in which Mr. B is having a substantial interest, that is more than 20% voting, 20% or more voting power. Okay, so 3,44,000 will be included in the total income of Mr. B. So his total income will become 3,44,000 plus 30,000, that is 3,74,000, and in the hands of Mrs. B, 6,000 which she is receiving as rent from the house property which she owns. So 72,000 will be income in the hands of Mrs. B. Okay, so let's see the solution. Since Mrs. B is not professionally qualified for the job, the clubbing provision shall be applicable. Okay, computation of gross total income of Mr. B, income from salary of Mrs. B. Okay, that is 3,44,000, that is computed salary, so no adjustment required. And income from other sources, that is interest on securities, is 30,000. So gross total income of Mr. B is 3,74,000. Okay, now income from salary is in the hands of Mrs. B is nil, because it's computation of gross total income of Mrs. B. Okay, so income will be nil, income from salary. Now income from house property, gross total income which is receiving from rent, that is 72,000, no municipal tax is there, that is 72,000 is net annual value. Okay, so standard deduction 30% will be given, as it is income chargeable in the house property, and in that you get standard deduction of 30%. So 72,000, if we compute on 72,000, 30% is coming to 21,600. So after deducting that, the income is coming to 50,400. So gross total income of Mrs. B is 50,400. Okay, hope you have understood. Now moving to illustration number 4. Mr. Vaibhav started a proprietary business on 1st April 2018. Okay, with a capital of rupees 5 lakhs. He incurred a loss of 2 lakhs during the year 18-19. Okay, to overcome the financial position, his wife Mrs. Vaishali, a software engineer, gave a gift of rupees 5 lakh on 1st April 2019, which was immediately invested in the business by Mr. Vaibhav. Okay, so Mr. Vaibhav has incurred a loss in the financial year 18-19. Okay, previous 18-19. So its capital contribution is reduced from 5 lakh to 2 lakh, as it was a loss. Okay, and at the beginning of financial year 19-20, he is receiving 5 lakh rupees from his wife. Okay, and he has invested that 5 lakh in the business. Okay, now in which was immediately invested in the business by Mr. Vaibhav. He earned a profit of rupees 4 lakh during the year 19-20. Okay, compute the amount to be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. Vaishali for the assessment year 2021. We have to compute the clubbing provision. Okay, clubbing income which will be taxable in the hands of Mrs. Vaishali. Okay, now if Mrs. Vaishali gave the said amount as loan, what would be the amount to be clubbed? So as you all know, in case of loan, no clubbing provision is applicable. So in the second answer, clubbing provision will not be applicable. But in first answer, as you all know, that we have to compute gross total income, that is 4 lakh, which the income is received, okay, from the business by Mr. Weber. In that case, proportionate amount of capital gain will be taxable in the hands of Mrs. Vaishali. That is, we have to see what is the amount invested, total amount invested at the beginning of the previous year. Okay, total amount invested at the beginning of previous year, that is on 1st April 2019, is, that is 5 lakh minus 2 lakh is invested by Mr. Weber, that is 3 lakh. Okay, and 5 lakh which Mr. Weber have invested, that is received from his wife Mrs. Vaishali. So okay, so in that case, total investment is at the beginning of the previous 8 lakh, but out of 8 lakh, this 5 lakh has been received from Mrs. Y, and that amount, that portion of profit will be clubbed in the hands of, in respect of 5 lakh. Okay, profit will be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. Vaishali, that is 4 lakh into 5 divided by 8 will be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. Vaishali, and 4 lakh, that is the income of the previous year, 4 lakh into 3 divided by 8 will be clubbed, will not be clubbed, and it will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Weber. Okay, let's see the provision. They're saying what they're saying. Section 64(1)(4) of the Income Tax Act provides for clubbing of income in the hands of individual. Okay, so 64(1)(4) of the Income Tax Act provides for clubbing of income in the hands of the individual if the income earned is from the assets other than house property. Okay, house property is covered in a different section, and it says a different thing. Transferred directly or directly to the spouse of the individual, otherwise than for adequate consideration, or otherwise in connection with an agreement to live apart. If these two conditions are there, then it will not be, clubbing provision will not be applicable, as if it is received for adequate consideration, and if it is in agreement with connection to live apart, then clubbing provision will not be applicable. So in this case, no such thing has been told. So let's see. In this case, Mr. Weber received a gift of rupees 5 lakh on 1st April 2019 from his wife Mrs. Vaishali, which he invested in his business immediately. Okay, the income to be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. Vaishali for the assessment year 2021 is computed as under. Okay, particulars is given. Mr. Weber capital contribution out of gift from Mrs. Vaishali. Okay, total is 8 lakh. Okay, see, capital as on 1st April 2019 is 3 lakh. As I said, 5 lakh minus 2 lakh, that is 3 lakh, and capital contribution out of gift from Mrs. Vaishali is 5 lakh. Total is 8 lakh investment. Okay, now profit for the previous year 1920 to be apportioned on the basis of capital employed on the first day of the previous year, that is on 1st April 2019, that is 3:5 ratio. Okay, so as I said, 4 lakh into 3 divided by 8 will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Weber, as it was its capital contribution in the business. Okay, and 4 lakh into 5 divided by 8 will be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. Vaishali. Okay, so the amount is coming to 1,50,000, 2,50,000 respectively, and total amount is 4 lakh. Okay, therefore the income to be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. Vaishali for the assessment year 2021 is 2,50,000. Okay, and in the second case, there was if Mrs. Vaishali gives a loan, if it's a bona fide loan, no clubbing provision will be applicable. In this case, Mrs. Vaishali gave the said amount of 5 lakh as bona fide loan, then clubbing provision would not be attracted. Okay, hope you have understood. Now moving to next one. Okay, there is a note given. The provision of section 56(2)(10), it will not be applicable because it is received from a relative. Okay, so would not be attracted in the hands of Mr. Weber, since he has received a sum of money exceeding 50,000 without consideration from a relative, that is his wife. Okay, so 56(2)(10) will not be applicable. Okay, now moving to illustration number 5. Mrs. Kasturi transferred her house property, her immovable property, to ABC Company Limited, subject to condition that out of the rental income, a sum of rupees 36,000 per annum shall be utilized for the benefit of her son's wife. Okay, Mrs. Kasturi claimed that the amount of 36,000 utilized for her son's wife should not be included. Okay, should not be included in her total income, as she no longer owned the property. Okay, examine with reason whether the contention of Mr. Kasturi is valid in law. No, as per the provision of clubbing provision, when any assets is transferred to any other person for the benefit of his son's wife, okay, then clubbing provision will be applicable, is as it is an indirect transfer, and it says that where any assets, okay, is transferred to any other person, okay, then clubbing provision will be applicable when you transfer any asset to any other person for the benefits of son's wife. Then clubbing provision will be applicable in the hands of the transferor. So in this case, as Mr. Kasturi has transferred an immovable property to ABC and Company, and from that transfer, the income which is generated from the rental income of rupees 36,000 is being transferred for the benefit of son's wife. So 36,000 per annum will be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. Kasturi. Okay, let's see the solution. The clubbing provision under section 64(1)(8) are attracted in case of transfer of an asset directly or indirectly, other than for an adequate consideration, or other than for adequate consideration to any person, to the extent to which the income from such asset is for the immediate or deferred benefits of son's wife. Okay, such income shall be included in computing the total income of the transfer individual. So in this case, it will be included in the hands of Mr. Kasturi itself, applying the provision of section 64(1)(8). Okay, therefore income of 36,000 meant for the benefit of daughter-in-law, chargeable to tax in the hands of the transferor, that is Mrs. Kasturi in this case. The contention of Mrs. Kasturi is hence not valid in law. Okay, note, in order to attract the clubbing provision under section 64(1)(8), the transfer should be otherwise than for adequate consideration. In this case, it is presumed that the transfer is otherwise than for adequate consideration. Okay, they are presuming it, and therefore the clubbing provision are attracted. In such case, the provision of section 56(2)(10) will also get attracted in the hands of ABC and Company if stamp duty value exceeds 50,000 and other conditions specified thereunder are satisfied. If it is presumed that transfer was for adequate consideration, the provision of section 64(1)(8) would not be attracted. So they are assuming it that it was for inadequate consideration, so they are applying the provision of section 64(1)(8). Okay, hope it's clear. Now moving to illustration number 6. Mr. A has 3 minor children, 2 twin daughters and 1 son. Okay, income of the twin daughters is rupees 2,000 per annum each, and that of the son is rupees 1,200 per annum. Compute the income in respect of minor child to be clubbed in the hands of Mr. A. Okay, so as you all know that any income arising to any children of an individual will be clubbed in the hands of the individual itself. Okay, not in the hands of children until unless they possess some qualification and all. Okay, that is if they are receiving any income according to based on their skills, then it will not be clubbed. Okay, otherwise it will be clubbed in the hands of the individual. So in this case, 2,000 into 2, that is 4,000, minus 1,500 into 2, that is will be exempt. As you all know, it is exempt under section 1032, written that in respect of clubbing any income arising to any children which is clubbed in the hands of the individual, that is his parents, their parents, then they will be getting an exemption of rupees 1,500 per children. Okay, so in this case it is the maximum allowable exemption. Okay, so let's see the solution. Taxable income in respect of minor child in the hands of Mr. A is 2 minor daughter, 2,000 rupees into 2, that is 4,000, less exempt under section 1032, that is 1,500 into 2, that is 3,000. So taxable income will be 1,000. Okay, Now minus son is receiving 1200, so maximum exemption is 1500, but his exemption is below that, so maximum exemption in this case will be 1200. So in this case it's nil, so income to be clubbed in the hands of Mr. A is 1000. Okay, hope it's clear. It was a simple question. Now let's move to next illustration, that is illustration number 7. Mr. Vasudevan gifted a sum of rupees 6 lakhs to his brother's wife on 14th June 2019. Okay, on 12th July 2019, his brother gifted a sum of rupees 5 lakh to Mr. Vasudevan's wife. Okay, so Mr. Vasudevan is gifting to his brother's wife 6 lakh rupees, and his brother is giving to his wife, gifting his wife, Mr. Vasudevan's wife, 5 lakh rupees. Okay, so it's a cross transfer case, and clubbing provision will be applicable in this case, but to extent of 5 lakhs rupees. Okay, the gifted amount was invested as fixed deposit in a bank by Mrs. Vasudevan and wife of Mr. Vasudevan's brother on 1st August 2019 at 9% interest. Okay, discuss the consequence of the above under the provision of the Income Tax Act 1961 in the hands of Mr. Vasudevan and his brother. So in this case, to the extent of 5 lakh, that is a cross transfer limit. That is his limit. In this case, cross transfer amount is only up to a 5 lakhs. Okay, so in this case, provision of clubbing will be applicable, that is 5 lakhs will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Vasudevan, and 5 lakhs will be taxable in income from that 5 lakhs. Okay, will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Vasudevan, and income from 5 lakhs will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Vasudevan's brother. Okay, so let's see. In the given case, Mr. Vasudevan gifted a sum of 6 lakh to his brother's wife on 14 June 2019, and simultaneously his brother gifted a sum of rupees 5 lakh to Mr. Vasudevan's wife on 12 July 2019. The gifted amount were invested as fixed deposits in bank by Mr. Vasudevan's and his brother's wife. These transfer are in the nature of cross transfer. As I said, is a cross transfer. Accordingly, the income from the asset transferred would be assessed in the hands of the deemed transferor, because the transfer are so intimately connected to form part of the single transaction, and each transfer constitute transaction for the other being mutual or otherwise. So in this case, so clubbing provision will be applicable, and it will be case of cross transfer. Okay, now if two transactions are interconnected and are part of the same transaction in such a way that it can be said that the circuitous method was adopted as a device to evade tax. They were trying to evade the tax, okay, by gifting through a cross transfer. The implication of clubbing provision would be attracted. It was held by the apex court in CIT versus Keshavji Murariji, okay, 1967-66 ITR 142. Okay, accordingly, the interest income arising to Mrs. Vasudevan in the form of interest on fixed deposit would be included in the total income of Mr. Vasudevan, and interest income arising in the hands of his brother's wife would be taxable in the hands of Mr. Vasudevan's brother as per section 64(1) to the extent of amount of cross transfer, that is 5 lakh. So as I said, so interest income arising from that fixed deposit which their wives has invested in a bank, okay, so interest income will be taxable in their hands, Mr. Vasudevan and Mr. Vasudevan's brother, to the extent of 5 lakh rupees. Okay, because the 5 lakh rupees was a cross transfer, so on 5 lakh rupees whatever interest will be getting, that will be taxable in their hands. Okay, Mr. Vasudevan and Mr. Vasudevan brother. Okay, this is because both the Mr. Vasudevan and his brother are the indirect transfer of the income to their respective spouse with an intention to reduce their tax burden. Their intention was to reduce their tax burden, that's why they have done this transaction. However, the interest income earned by his spouse on fixed deposit of 5 lakhs alone would be included in the hands of Mr. Vasudevan's brother, and not the interest income on the entire fixed deposit of 5 lakhs, since the cross transfer is only to the extent of 5 lakhs. So Mr. Vasudevan has transferred 6 lakh rupees, and entire 6 lakhs were invested by Mr. Vasudevan's brother's wife in the bank, but the cross transfer amount is only up to 5 lakhs. So in this case, interest on 5 lakh rupees will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Vasudevan, not the interest on rupees 6 lakhs. Okay, so only interest on 5 lakh rupees will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Vasudevan, and in respect of Mr. Vasudevan's brother also 5 lakh rupees will be interest on 5 lakh rupees will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Vasudevan's brother. Okay. Let's start with illustration number 9. Mr. Ravi has gifted his only house property to his wife, Mrs. Ravi, and his married daughter, Mrs. Divya. Okay, there is a single house property of Mr. Ravi in which he is transferring it in the name, in his wife's name as well as in his daughter's name, who is a married daughter. Okay, the assessing officer has served a notice of demand on Mr. Ravi for the payment of tax for the income derived from the said house property. Examine the validity of the assessing officer action. So in case, as you all know, when there is house property transferred to minor married daughter or a married daughter, then clubbing provision will not be applicable in respect of house property. Okay, so it is a house property is being transferred to a married daughter, so clubbing provision will not be applicable in respect of that Mrs. Divya's share, and in respect of Mrs. Ravi's share, clubbing provision will be applicable as per section 27. Okay, so let's see. As per section 27(1), an individual who transfers otherwise than for adequate consideration, that is without adequate consideration or inadequate consideration, okay, then any house property to his spouse. Okay, when an individual transfers otherwise than for adequate consideration any house property to his spouse, okay, not being a transfer in connection with an agreement to live apart or to a minor child, okay, not being a minor married daughter. Okay, so these two are excluded. That is, if there is an agreement to live apart, then house property is transferred, then clubbing will not be applicable, and when it is transferred to a minor married daughter, okay, then clubbing provision will not be applicable. Now in case of married daughter also, clubbing provision will not be applicable, and if it is a minor child, normal minor child, this is a boy minor child, then clubbing provision will be applicable. Shall be deemed to be the owner of the house property, so transfer, that is individual will be deemed to the owner of the house property. Okay, so Mr. Ravi in this case would be deemed to be the owner only in respect of share of house property transferred to his wife, Mrs. Ravi, without consideration, and not for the share of house property transferred to his married daughter, Mrs. Divya. As I said, as she is a married daughter, so in this case clubbing provision will not be applicable in respect of Mrs. Divya's share, and in respect of Mrs. Ravi's share, clubbing provision will be applicable, and Mr. Ravi has to pay tax in respect of that. Okay, and house property in respect of Mrs. Ravi's share, Mr. A will be deemed to be the owner of the house property. Since Mr. Ravi is deemed to be the owner of the share of house property transferred to his wife without adequate consideration, the income derived from the house property, to the extent attributable to the share of property transferred to his wife without consideration, would be taxable in his hand under the head income from house property. So Mrs. Ravi's shares from the house property, from that any income is arising, then it will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Ravi, and clubbing provision will be applicable. Okay, so as per section 65, the notice of demand can however be served on Mrs. Ravi. As per section 65, although notice can be served on Mrs. Ravi for payment of that portion of tax levied on Mr. Ravi attributable to the income derived by virtue of section 27(1) from the share of house property transferred to Mrs. wife and standing in her name. Okay, in this respect, although clubbing provision is applicable and it is taxable in the hands of Mr. Ravi, but notice of demand can also be served on Mrs. Ravi as per section 65. Okay, however, the income derived from the house property attributable to the share of property transferred to his married daughter without consideration would be taxable in the hands of his daughter. Such income would not be taxable in the hands of Mr. Ravi. Okay, Mr. Ravi will not be responsible for payment of tax attributable to the aforesaid share of income of her daughter from house property. Okay, so in respect of the daughter share income, it will not be clubbed. Okay, thus the action of assessing officer in serving notice of demand on Mr. Ravi for the payment of tax for the entire income derived from the said house property is not valid, because only in respect of Mrs. Ravi's share house property, only in respect of that any income is arising from that house property, that will be clubbed, and in respect of Mrs. Divya's share, any share of house property, any income is arising from that house property, it will not be clubbed. Okay, hope you have understood. Now moving to exercise. Question number 1. Mrs. E, wife of Mr. F, okay, is a partner in a firm. Mrs. E is a partner in a firm, okay. Her capital contribution to the firm as on 1st April was 5 lakhs. Okay, Mrs. E's capital contribution in a partnership firm is 5 lakhs, out of which 3 lakhs was contributed out of her own fund and 2 lakhs was contributed out of gift from her husband. Okay, so total investment contribution she has made in the partnership firm is 5 lakhs, out of which 5 lakhs, 3 lakh is her own contribution and 2 lakh was the amount gifted by her husband, and that amount has been made as a capital contribution in the partnership firm. Okay, as for the capital was needed by the firm, she further invested 2 lakh rupees on 1st May 2019 out of the fund gifted by her husband. So on 1st May 2019 also she has invested 2 lakh, and that was also received from her husband. Okay, so the firm paid interest on capital of rupees 80,000 and share of profit of rupees 60,000 for the financial year 1920. Okay, as you all know, as share of profit is taxable in the hands of the firm itself, so it is exempt in the hands of the partner. Okay, so in respect of that, nothing will be taxable, and in respect of 80,000 we have to do a calculation, that is we have to make a proportionate amount, that is 80,000 into 3 lakh divided by 5 lakh. In respect of that amount will be taxable in the hands of Mrs. E, and in respect of 80,000 into 2 lakh divided by 5 lakh, in respect of that amount will be clubbing provision will be applicable, and it will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Ravi. And as you all know, that capital contribution on the first day of the previous year, that was on 1st April 2019, we have to check that year at the beginning of the year amount of contribution. Okay, we have to not check contribution made after that. On the beginning of the first previous year, we have to do proportionate on that basis. So in this respect, 5 lakh we have to check 5 lakh, and 5 lakh out of 5 lakh, 3 lakh was her own contribution, Mrs. E's own contribution, and 2 lakh was gift received from her husband. So in respect of that, 2 lakh clubbing provision will be applicable, and in respect of 5 lakh 3 lakh clubbing provision will not be applicable, any income arising from that. Okay, so advise Mr. F as to the applicability of provision of section 64(1)(4) and the manner thereof in respect of the aforesaid above referred transaction. Okay, as per section 64(1)(4), in computing the total income of an individual, there shall be included all income as arises directly or indirectly subject to provision of section 27(1) to the spouse of such individual from assets transferred directly or indirectly to the spouse by such individual otherwise than for adequate consideration or in connection with an agreement to live apart. Okay, so as you all know, when there is a adequate consideration, then clubbing provision will not be applicable, and when the assets are transferred with in connection with an agreement to live apart, then clubbing provision will not be applicable. So they have explained the provision. In the instance case, Mr. F has gifted money to his wife Mrs. E. Okay, Mrs. E in turns invests such gifted money in the capital of the partnership firm of which she is a partner. Okay, she is whatever gift she has received, she has made the capital contribution in the firm. Mrs. E has also contributed a sum of rupees 3 lakh out of her own resource to the capital of the firm. She has invested out of her own capital, out of her own fund, 3 lakh rupees in the firm. Okay, as per explanation 3 of to section 64(1) for the purpose of clubbing under section 64(1)(4), where the assets transferred directly or indirectly by an individual to his spouse are invested by the transferee in the nature of contribution of a partner of a capital as a partner in the firm, proportionate interest on the capital will be clubbed with the income of the transferor. Proportionate, as I said, proportionate income, interest income will be clubbed in the hands of transferor. Okay, such proportionate has to be computed by taking into account the value of the aforesaid investment as on the first day of the previous year to the total investment by the capital contribution as per the partner in the firm on that day itself. That is, total contribution we have to take on the first day of the previous year, and capital contribution uh, by her spouse on the first day of the previous year, that amount will be clubbed. Okay, so in this case, in the view of the above provision, interest received by Mrs. E from the firm shall be included in the total income of Mr. F to the extent of 32,000, that is 80,000 into 2 lakh divided by 5 lakh, that will be clubbed in the hands of Mr. F, and balance will be taxable in the hands of Mrs. E itself. Okay, so 80,000 minus 32,000, that is 48,000 will be taxable in the hands of Mrs. E itself. Okay, share of profit amounting to 60,000 is exempt from income tax under the provision of section 10(2)(a). Okay, as I said, share of profit will be exempt in the hands of the partner, so it will no clubbing will be applicable. The provision of section 64 will not apply if the income from the transferred asset itself is exempt from tax. So in this case, clubbing provision will not be applicable, and they are assuming something. It is assumed that rate of interest on capital contributed by Mrs. E does not exceed 12% per annum. As you all know, interest on capital is allowable to a partnership firm only to an extent of 12%, and so the amount will be taxable. That amount will be taxable in the hands of the partner. Okay, so they are assuming that 12% is allowable interest, and they have the amount of interest is not exceeding 12%, so it will be taxable in the hands of proportionate basis in the hands of Mrs. E and Mr. E. Okay, hope you have understood. Now moving to question number 2. Mr. A has gifted a house property valued at rupees 50 lakh. House property is gifted to his wife, Mrs. B, who in turn has gifted the same to Mrs. C, their daughter-in-law. Okay, the house was let out at 25,000 per month throughout the year. Okay, so throughout the year 25,000 per month it was let out, so annual income is coming to 3 lakh. 25,000 to 12. Okay, compute the total income of Mr. A and Mrs. C. Will your answer be different if the said house property was gifted to his son, husband of Mrs. C? Okay, so in this case, as you all know, that we can apply provision, that is indirect transfer to his son's wife, that is Mr. A and Mrs. C. Mr. A is a person who is transferring the house property, and the house property is being transferred to his son's wife, that is Mrs. C. Okay, so it can be considered an indirect transfer, and clubbing provision will be applicable accordingly. And there is another situation where you can say that Mr. A is transferring to his wife, Mrs. B. So in this case, section 27 will be applicable. So clubbing provision will be applicable in respect of house property as per section 27, and Mrs. B is transferring the house property to Mrs. C. Okay, which is receiving from Mr. A, and so in that case, clubbing as per section 64, clubbing provision will be applicable in the hands of Mrs. B. So there is another situation. I'll show in the solution how they explained that. Okay, so in this case, Mrs. C, whatever is receiving from Mrs. B, okay, Mrs. C, which is receiving from Mrs. B, in that case, Mrs. B will the income from that house property will be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. B. However, that house property is not, as per section 27, will be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. A. So indirectly, the clubbing provision will be applicable. We can apply two sections and solve the sums. Let's see how the solution they have moved on. As per section 27(1), an individual who transfers otherwise than for adequate consideration any house property to his spouse, not being transferred in connection with an agreement to live apart, shall be deemed to the owner of house property so transferred. So therefore, in this case, Mr. A would be deemed to the owner of house property transferred to his wife, Mrs. B, without consideration. So first, Mr. A is transferring the house property to Mrs. B. In this case, deemed owner will be Mr. A only. Okay, now next provision, what they are saying, as per section 64(1)(6), income arising to son's wife from the asset transferred directly or indirectly to her by an individual otherwise than for adequate consideration would be included in the total income of such individual. Okay, so in this case, Mrs. B is transferring the house property to Mrs. C. So in this case, clubbing provision should have been applicable in the hands of Mrs. B, but as per section 27, again the clubbing provision will be applicable in the hands of Mr. A, so indirectly it is coming taxable in the hands of Mrs. A itself. Okay, so applying the both the provisions, that is directly Mrs. C is getting that direct transfer from Mrs. B. So in that case, applying the clubbing provision, it will be taxable in the hands of Mrs. B. However, as per section 27, it will be taxable in the hands of Mr. A. So indirectly it will be taxable in the hands of Mr. A only. Okay, so income from letting out house property is rupees 2,10,000. That is, as you all know, on house property you get a standard deduction of 30%. So that is 3 lakh being the actual rent calculated at the rate of the rupees 25,000 per month into 12 months. You will calculate is coming to 3 lakh less 90,000 being deduction under section 24 at the rate of 30% is 30% of 3 lakh is coming to 90,000. So net amount is coming to 2,10,000 income from letting out property. Okay, in this case, income of 2,10,000 from house property, letting out property arising to Mrs. C, being Mrs. A, Mr. A's son's wife, would be included in the income of Mr. A, applying the provision of section 27 and section 64(16). Okay, both the provision they applying. Such income would therefore would not be taxable in the hands of Mrs. C. It will not be taxable in the hands of Mrs. C. And there was another question asked, if it is transferred to his son, okay, then clubbing provision will not be applicable. In case the property was gifted to Mr. A son, the clubbing provision under section 64 would not apply since the son is not a minor child. They are considering it as a major, so clubbing will not be applicable in this case. Therefore, income of rupees 2,10,000 from letting out property gifted to the son would be taxable in the hands of the son itself. Okay, in that case, clubbing will not be applicable. It may be noted that provision of section 56(2)(10) would not be attracted in the hands of the recipient of house property, since the receipt of house property in each case was from a relative of such individual. Therefore, the stamp duty value of the house property will not be chargeable to tax in the hands of the recipient of immovable property, even though the house property was received by her or him without consideration. So in this case, as you all know, they are explaining section 56(2)(10), and they are telling that it will not be taxable in the hands of the recipient, though it is received without consideration, as it is received from a relative as per section 56(2)(10). Okay, so note, the first part of the question can also be answered by applying the provision of section 64(1)(6) directly to include the income of rupees 2,10,000 arising to Mrs. C in the hands of Mr. A, without applying provision of section 27(1) to deem Mr. A as the owner of the house property transferred to his wife Mrs. B without consideration. So in this case, without applying section 27, you can solve it directly also, since section 64(1)(6) speaks of clubbing of income arising to son's wife from indirect transfer of asset to her daughter, okay, to her daughter by her husband's parents without consideration. Okay, so gift of house property by Mr. A to Mrs. C via Mr. B can be viewed as an indirect transfer by Mr. A to Mrs. C. Okay, so it can be considered as indirect transfer, and you can apply it directly without inserting section 27(1). Okay, hope you have understood. Now moving to illustration question number 3. Mr. Kurani transferred 2,000 debentures of rupees 100 each to Wild Fox Limited to his wife Mrs. Rekha Kurani on 3rd October 2018 without consideration. Okay, Mr. Kurani is transferring a company, Wild Fox Limited, debentures to his wife, okay, without consideration on 3rd October 2018. Okay, the company paid interest of 30,000 in September 2019, which was deposited by Mrs. Kurani with Kartar Finance Company in October 2019. Kartar Finance Company paid interest of rupees 3,000 up to March 2020. How would both the interest income be charged to assessment year 2021? So in this case, in respect of 30,000, clubbing provision will be applicable, and in respect of 30,000 clubbing provision will be applicable, and the income received by Mrs. Kurani, 30,000 interest income, will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Kurani. And in respect of interest income of 3,000, which after investment in a Kartar Finance Company Mrs. Kurani is receiving, in respect of that 3,000, no clubbing provision will be applicable, and it will be taxable in the hands of Mrs. Kurani. As you all know that income on income, okay, it will not be clubbed. Okay, in this case interest is 30,000 which is receiving, okay, and on that interest, after investing that interest into a finance company, she is receiving interest. So in respect of that interest, second interest, that is rupees 3,000, clubbing provision will not be applicable, as it is an accretion of an income. Okay, that is accretion of 30,000 income. On that 30,000, if you are investing that in a finance company, she is receiving interest. So in respect of 3,000 interest income, clubbing provision will not be applicable. In respect of 30,000, clubbing provision will be applicable. Okay, let's see the answer. As per section 64(1)(4), income arising from assets transferred without adequate consideration by an individual to spouse is liable to be clubbed in the hands of the individual. Okay, so it is transferred without adequate consideration. So okay, in this case clubbing provision will be applicable. It may be noted that income of the assets transferred has to be clubbed, but if there is an accretion to the asset, any further income derived from such accretion would not be clubbed. So it was an accretion of 3,000. Okay, so it will not be clubbed. 3,000 will not be clubbed. However, 30,000 will be clubbed. Okay, therefore applying the provision of section 64(1)(4), rupees 30,000 being the interest on debenture received by Mrs. Kurani in September 2019 will be clubbed with the income of Mr. Kurani, since he has transferred the debenture of the company without consideration to her in October 2018. Okay, however, the interest of 3,000 up to March 2020 earned by Mrs. Kurani on interest of debenture on the debenture deposited by her with Kartar Finance Company shall be taxable in her individual capacity and will not be clubbed with the income of Mr. Kurani. As I said, 3,000 will not be clubbed and 30,000 will be clubbed in the hands of Mr. Kurani. Okay, now moving to question number 4. Mr. Rose, out of his own fund, had transferred an fixed deposit receipt, okay, of rupees 10 lakh bearing interest of 10% per annum payable half yearly in the name of his wife Lily. Okay, Mr. Rose, out of his own fund, he has taken a fixed deposit receipt of 10 lakh rupees in respect of his wife, okay, in which interest is 10%. The interest earned during the financial year 1920 of rupees 1 lakh was invested by Mrs. Lily in the business of packed spice, which resulted in the profit of rupees 55,000 for the year ended 31st March 2020. How shall the interest of FDR and income from business be taxed for the assessment year 2021? So in respect of 1 lakh rupees, clubbing provision will be applicable and it will be taxable in the hands of Mr. Rose. And in respect of 55,000, that is accretion of income that was in the previous sum, but it is in a different way, that she is investing in a business and from that she is getting a profit. So in respect of 55,000, it is an accretion of an assets, so clubbing provision will not be applicable in respect of 55,000, and in respect of 1 lakh, clubbing provision will be applicable. Okay, let's see the answer. As per section 64(1)(4) specifies that income derived by the spouse of an individual of an SEC from the assets directly or indirectly without adequate consideration or intention to live apart shall be clubbed with the income of the transferor. Okay, if it is without adequate consideration, then only clubbing provision will be applicable, and if it is with adequate consideration, then clubbing will not be applicable, and if it is an agreement to live apart, then clubbing will not be applicable. Therefore, then in this case clubbing will be applicable, as it was not in connection with an agreement to live apart and it was for without adequate consideration. So therefore the interest income of rupees 1 lakh of the FDR of rupees 10 lakh for the financial year 1920 shall be clubbed with the income of Mr. Rose. Okay, as I said, 1 lakh rupees will be clubbed in the hand of with the income of Mr. Rose. When Mrs. Lily invested the interest income in the business and earned profit therefrom, such profit shall not be clubbed with the income of her husband, but shall be taxable in her individual capacity. Okay, this is so because the income from the accretion of the transferred asset is not to be clubbed with the income of the transferor. That is CIT versus MSS Rajan 2001 252 ITR 168 Madras. Okay, hope you have understood. Now this is the last question, I guess. Yeah, this is the last one. So this is the last question of this chapter, and the chapter will be over. Naresh is a fashion designer having lucrative business. His wife is a model. Naresh paid her salary of rupees 10,000. Okay, Naresh pays her monthly salary of 10,000. He is paying to his wife. Okay, he's a fashion designer. The assessing officer, while admitting that salary is an admissible deduction in computing the total income of Naresh, had applied the provision of section 64(1) and had clubbed the income of salary of his wife in Naresh's hand. Okay, discuss the correctness of the action of assessing officer. In this case, assessing officer is not correct, as she is a model. She is having a professional qualification. So in this case, professional or technical qualification you can say, then in this case clubbing provision will not be applicable, and it will be taxable in the hands of his wife itself. So let's see the solution. Assessing officer is not correct in this case. This question is based on the principle laid down by the Madras High Court in case of CIT versus Srimati R. Bharati 1999 240 ITR 697, where the interpretation of the term professional qualification and knowledge came up for the consideration as per the proviso to section 64(1). Okay, so they have given a case reference. Okay, these words do not necessarily connote a qualification conferred by the recognized university after examining the candidates who have undergone a course of study in the technical subject or course of study preparing him for the profession of law, accountancy, etc. Accordingly, the term qualification must be given a wide meaning as referring to the qualities which are required to be possessed by a person performing the work that he does, so long as that work is capable of being regarded as technical or professional qualification. So technical and professional qualification, it is not necessary that you should be from it should be from a recognized university or college or something. Okay, it is not mentioned. It has a very wide meaning. Qualification means it has given a very wide meaning. So in this case, the word professional in a term capable of very broad meaning and would encompass a variety of occupations. A large number of occupations are being practiced which form a source of livelihood and are capable of being regarded as professions as long as they require certain degree of skills. Okay, a person having skill, experience and competence in a line of work can be regarded as professionally qualified for the purpose of section 64(1)(4). If a person is having an experience, skills and competence, then it can be regarded as he or she is having a professionally qualified. Okay, and in that case clubbing provision will not be applicable. So applying the rationale of the Madras High Court ruling, a model having skill, competence and experience in her line can be considered as professional. Hence the action of assessing officer is not correct. Okay, so in this case assessing officer action is not correct. Okay, that's it with chapter number 9. Hope you have understood all the questions. If there is a doubt, write me on the comment box. Okay, don't forget to subscribe the channel and also share with your friends. Do share with your friends, and also click on the bell icon for more updated videos which I'll be uploading soon. Okay, and one more announcement: anyone willing to solve ICAI indirect tax questions, they can click on the link given in the description. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Bye bye.